At the time of this video, Valorant is coming up on its 4th year in existence. Feel old yet? And over the years, while Valorant has really innovated what it means to put out cosmetic items on a video game, recently a lot of the collections that have come out have been lackluster, to say the least. For every Konami collection that comes out, there is at least 3 Chrome Deck collections that come out as well. But what about Valorant bundles that the community doesn't like, that have spawned in some of our most favorite items in the entire game? I'm Justin, and this is Valorant's worst bundles with the best skins. We are jumping right into this, starting with Xenohunter, the Xenohunter Blade. This video is in no particular order, but the Xenohunter collection is probably the most accurate case of what we're trying to talk about. This bundle is not very good, but if you could see past all of the big, clunky TV screens, it gave us the Xenohunter Blade. Let's talk about the whole Xenohunter collection first, though. Releasing on June 8th, 2022, the Xenohunter collection is a premium edition skin set, meaning that this cost 7100 VP, 1775 VP for each skin, and 3550 VP for just the melee. This bundle did not contain a card, a spray, or a buddy, and across the board, Xenohunter only had 1 upgrade for every single item. For all of the primary and secondary items, this was the heartbeat sensor, which actively displayed the map on the screen. Likewise, with just this 1 upgrade, you got the sounds for all of the weapons as well. In terms of how these skins look, they're not really that cool. It's sort of sci-fi meets realism, with very obvious inspiration taken from the Alien movies. The heartbeat sensor map gimmick that went on the side of your item really probably could have been consolidated into a buddy that did the same thing. Probably would have looked a lot better. There's no variants, there's no finisher for some reason, even though this is premium edition. This collection's not terrible, but it does definitely stink a little bit. But that was until we figured out the melee, the Xenohunter melee. Now, it can be argued in terms of the realism of the Xenohunter melee, but this melee item has the best animations, probably among all of the melees in the entire game. And on top of that, this is an item that can appear in your night market because it's premium edition and because it's cheap enough to do so. And while the Xenohunter melee gives us those new animations that we know and love that would soon go on to the VCT blade, as well as the Zero Fang blade, it reused an original asset from the older version of Valorant, with the default knife being the right-click melee attack. Xenohunter may have been a dud of a collection, but it gave us the Xenohunter blade, which is something that everybody loves. And while the aforementioned VCT blade and Zero Fang blade may be too flashy for your taste, Xenohunter stays true to the realism of it while still having those beautiful animations that we love. The Soulstrife collection, the melee. A reoccurring theme that you're probably going to see in this video is that a collection will come out and the melee will be really good, whereas everything else will not be so great. Among a few other things like Valorant's incessant urge to put out premium edition skins with no finishers and very little upgrades. And as it just may have it, Soulstrife is a prime example of this. But before we continue talking about this, how about a quick word from our sponsor, urnotjustin for Valorant, an insights app for old and new players to keep you sharp while you're grinding Valorant. Using the link in the description, when you download urnotjustin, you will get access to things like Peak Map, which can tell you on any map that you're playing what the most common angles that are held are on both attack and defense, from pistol round to full buy rounds. You will also get access to player scouting, so that way you can get a feel for who is on your team and on the enemy team, showing you their win-loss ratio, their KD, and even giving everybody in your game tags depending on how they've been playing in their recent games, giving you an idea of the strengths and weaknesses of everybody you're playing with. urnotjustin gives you in-game highlights, you'll have better data with better insights. Download urnotjustin today for Valorant. I wholeheartedly recommend it. On November 2nd, 2022, a premium edition skin set came out by the name of Soulstrife. The entire set cost 7100 VP and did include a card and a spray, however did not include a buddy, also only had 1 upgrade across the board for every single item, no variants. And around this time as well, there was quite a bit of fanfare for people wanting a scythe melee in the game. There was fan art of it, Apex Legends has Revenant and his heirloom as a scythe. There was definitely a demand for a scythe in the game, and they met us halfway, if you know what I'm saying. Soulstrife essentially gave us Reaver at home. It just has way less cool things. This costs the exact same price as Reaver, and there's literally no reason to get this over Reaver. 1 upgrade, and that just simply gives you a smoke effect around the items. However, at least we got the Soulstrife scythe. Now, say what you will about this item, I think for the most part the community really likes this one, but I think it could also be a little bit polarizing as well. A scythe melee on paper is really great. Was it executed perfectly? I wouldn't say so, but it's definitely not bad. As well, you have to take a look at the timeline of everything that has come out up until this point. Soulstrife came out in November of 2022, and up until this point, we have only just recently got another scythe melee, sort of, included with the Switchback collection. And while time will tell if we really get a true scythe melee that has its own unique animations and that's not just a reuse of the axe animations, for now, the Soulstrife scythe is a really special item. 3 out of 4 of the Lunar New Year bundles, the buddies, and 2 of the melees. Alright, try to keep up. On February 18th, 2021, we got the Celestial bundle for 7,100 VP. On February 2nd, 2022, we got the Deluxe Edition Tigris bundle for 5,100 VP. On January 25th, 2023, we got another deluxe bundle called the Luda Collection, starting at 5,100 VP. All 3 of these bundles had something in common. All of the skins were bad and all of the buddies were good. To simply and quickly break this down, the Celestial skin set coming out really cost way too much money for what it was, especially when you consider that everything else that followed afterwards was cheaper and a different quality altogether. They're really just not so good, and there's no point to rock them, especially the first Celestial bundle, just because of the price. The Celestial bundle had the year of the ox, Tigris bundle was the year of the tiger, the Luda bundle was the year of the bunny. And all of these buddies, as you should know, are reactive, with the first reactive buddy in the entire game being the ox buddy. And of course, I haven't forgotten about the melees. Although the Celestial bundle had its problems because of its lack in quality, it did give us the first fan melee in Valorant. All this time later, there is 2 fan melees that have been added to the game since then, but it's still special because it is one of the 3. The Tigris collection had a really silly melee, and it was also named Who Else, which sort of just was the icing on the silly cake. Nobody really cared about that, but then a year later, we got the Lunar melee, which was actually surprisingly really good because it is essentially just an alternative to the Ruin Dagger, which a lot of people, including myself, don't have, in the form of a skin that can rotate into your store at any given point. And I'm aware that you guys have already left your comments about the Zero Fang bundle. Yes, it is a Lunar New Year bundle. Yes, it has a reactive buddy, but it doesn't make this list because everything in that collection is good. Like, it's a good collection. I want you to brace yourself for this next one. Prime 2.0, the Prime Karambit. This video is about the worst bundles with the best items, and in this case with Prime 2.0, this bundle is not in any way, shape, or form bad. But in this particular instance, one item from this really puts the rest of it to shame, and that is the Prime Karambit. All the way back in 2021 on March 2nd, we got Weaponized Perfection with Prime 2.0. Another premium edition skin set, 7,100 VP for the entire bundle, buddy, card, spray, fully upgradable with variants and a unique finisher. It feels wrong to lump in Prime 2.0 with the quote-unquote worst collections because this is not a bad collection at all. But like I said, the Prime Karambit is just that much better than everything else that's in this set. This was the first Karambit in all of Valorant. I would hazard to guess that the Prime Karambit is one of the most popular melees in the whole game. This was the first of what would end up being 5 Karambits in all of Valorant. And since it did come out really early on in Valorant's existence, this doesn't have any variants, but to its credit with its simplicity, this was one of the very first items in the entire game that you didn't want to upgrade. Now, I'm serious. I've been playing this game since beta. If you bought this set when it first came out, if you got the Karambit and you upgraded it, you would actively be roasted by all the homies. It's really interesting to note as well because this came out before you were able to set the levels of all of your skins. So at the time, had you upgraded this, you were just stuck with the level 2 version of it. And I believe that because of the Prime Karambit is why we got the option to toggle levels at all. The upgraded version of the Prime Karambit has a fold out animation that is pretty cool, but the big ticket is the Prime Karambit's level 1 animations and pull out because it gives you those really cool Karambit animations, which is also really special because the Prime Karambit's animations are different from what we would know with Champions, Reaver, and Ion's Karambits. Next time you go to change the level of one of your items on Valorant, just know that it probably happened because of the Prime Karambit. Valorant Go Volumes 1 and 2, almost everything else. While trying to make the list of the best items from the worst bundles, you couldn't count out Valorant Go because it had all those really great buddies, cards, sprays, as well it had 2 really great melee items. Valorant Go Volume 1 released on February 25th, 2021, and Valorant Go Volume 2 released on September 22nd, 2021. For both collections, it was 8,855 VP. And while this is a premium edition skin set, the price is marked up for the entire collection because of all that extra peripheral stuff that we get. And what is there to say about the skins themselves from both Valorant Go sets? Excluding the melees, truth be told, they are just overpriced green screen skins. These are categorized as premium edition and they do not have any sort of upgrades, variants, sound effects, not even a kill banner, nothing. It's all very overpriced for arguably just default skins. And that's where all the peripheral items come in. If you main a character from one of these sets, then you have a card that shows that off, a spray that you can put down before and after the round, and a buddy that ironically enough probably goes better on other skins. And we're not just talking about the peripheral items, I do believe as well that both the melee items being Yoru's Comb and the Jet Kunai are really special just by themselves. Everything else is pretty bad, but these 2 items are really special because they are items that have actual upgrades with actual animations. Jet's Kunai was the first ever kunai in the entire game that would be followed by the Champions Kunai, as well as our most recent kunai with the Mistbloom collection. And Yoru's Comb is just a really interesting lore item that gives us another butterfly knife that is in the game. These 2 melees and the peripheral items outshine everything else, and it's not even close. When I initially started this video, I was quite shocked to find out how many collections are not really that good that did have something special and redeeming about them. Just in this video alone, we talked about 5 collections that are considered to be bad that have at least one good item in them, and there's actually quite a bit more that I'm saving for a second part and so forth. Until part 2 comes out, do tell me what collections I left out of this video. As always, I'm Justin and you're not, and I thank you so much for watching this video. Please like it if you did enjoy it, I would really appreciate it. Lately, my content has been kind of lacking, and I think just the overall content of Valorant in general is just sort of in the gutter currently. I don't really care about it, and I'm trying to do less videos that I don't care about that's just repeated garbage of buying the skins, and more videos about stuff that I actually care about and have a little bit of interest with. You, the viewer, don't deserve to have your intelligence mocked, and I will see you guys in the next one.